So one thing I spend quite a bit of time doing is, I guess, self-reflecting, right? And, you know, thinking about, I guess, the stuff that's going on, reflecting my behaviors, my thoughts, even like trying to listen to myself and what's actually going on and what I need. And there's like a difference from what you need and I guess, the initial reaction of thinking of what you want. And this is why it's so important to actually listen to what you need in self reflection. And by saying this, sometimes I do a lot of the time it's still quick to pick the quick fix instead of actually listening. And then I actually sit back and once after pick the quick fix, I'm like, hey, that wasn't actually necessarily the thing I want. And a lot of people don't sit down and self-reflect on things and that, and a lot of the time as I self-reflect in my mind, I think journaling is also great as well. I do a bit of that. It's so important just to get stuff out on a piece of paper and like analyze it and joyfully analyze it, I should say, because analyzing can be quite tedious and energy consuming, the word I'm looking for. And it's so important to self-reflect because by self-reflecting is that you can actually ask yourself what you actually need and sit back and analyze and see what's actually going on in your life, because a lot of the time is when we don't self-reflect or put the time to self-reflect, we generally hand our power away to someone else and thinking someone else has the answer for us. In actual fact, we know the answer in us. We just haven't spent the time to actually listen to ourselves and investigate it, right? And this go past. And when one of the things that I've just recently done is change all my emotional values, or not all of them, but change one. And one of these things I never thought would come into my emotional value, top three. Because originally my top three emotional values was fulfillment, connection, and growth. And it's weird because the thing that just come in, which I'll mention in 2 secs, I promote a lot about, and this is something I help people create, and it is freedom. And I sat back and reflected last night, and I realized freedom is number one in my category of emotional values. So now it goes freedom, fulfillment, and connection. And connection used to be number one, right? And this is like last year. And this is how much things have changed over time with myself and what I guess I need as a person. And when I sat down with one of, I guess, with Tumai, big shout out to Tumai with this, because we sat down and done well setting together. And one of my things was like to do jump in my business for 25 hours a week, right? And everything else is free time around that. And I noticed with me as a person, for me to work at my absolute best, I need a lot of free time and to sit back and contemplate and think and just to feel into the emotions and that's when I come most creative. That's when I can be on point when I sit down with a client and can actually listen, because I'm not getting caught up in my own head and own narratives of what's going on or how I perceive things and all this stuff. And I think it's and that's important to me, and that's how I operate as a person. I can't keep doing things consistently. I need time to sit down, reflect, spend time with myself, take care of myself, and that's like my freedom, and that's how I create my emotional freedom, right? And I wouldn't have got that if I didn't sit down and reflect, and also too didn't have someone else help me through that as well. So this is why it's so important to sit down, reflect as well, and then also have a soundboard to bounce off, right? So that can be a mentor, a friend, a family member, even journaling as well. It's so important. And a self reflection can be scary too. I'm not going to deny that, but it's so important to do. It is, because then you're not looking for the answer in someone else, you know the answer within you. So it's so important to self reflect and take the time to do it and schedule into your busy schedule, because we're all busy. So, and this is how you find out the things you actually want in life. So, self reflect, so important.